Thank you, everybody, for joining us for an in-depth conversation with Goorin Brothers about their experience managing an affiliate program, working with Refersion and Nostos technology. We're going to be focusing on partnering with relevant technology partners and strategic insights behind one D2C e-commerce brand's dynamic growth on the Refersion platform. We will be having a live Q&A at the end of our discussion, so our experts from Goorin Brothers and Nosto can answer all of your burning questions on how you may utilize the best practices they've shared to contribute to your brand success. Please add your questions at the Q&A section at the bottom of your Zoom link, not in the chat, so our team will be sure to see it on our Refersion backend. As an exciting bonus to all of our attendees today, you could win a $100 Goorin Brothers gift card for attending. And also a huge thanks to Nosto for being our kind sponsor to make this webinar possible. So to everyone, I'm Regina. I'm the Senior Partner Manager for Publishers over here at Refersion, and I'll be your moderator for today's session. Without further ado, to our speakers, please introduce yourself to our audience with your name, your role at the company, and what company. And then let's start with Ryan Malamed.
Thank you. Thanks for having us here today. I'm Ryan Malamed. As Regina mentioned, I'm the head of digital and e-commerce for Goorin Brothers.
Excellent. Thank you, Ryan. Then let's move on to Nikki.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nikki Cutler, and I am the social media / community manager at Goorin Brothers. Been working for Goorin Brothers for almost 11 years.
Wow. Thank you, Nikki. Last but certainly not the least, please introduce yourself, Mr. Reese Hartledge.
Hello, I'm Reese Hartledge. I'm the customer success manager at Nosto, and I work alongside Ryan and his team very closely.
Excellent. Thank you, gentlemen, for your introductions. So let's talk a little bit about everybody's companies. For Ryan and Nikki, tell us a little bit about Goorin Brothers, how you started there, and the growth you've seen at Goorin Brothers. And I just wanted to share with everyone here, Goorin Brothers has been around since 1895, which is a huge accomplishment, especially given the current circumstances of the e-commerce climate today. Can you share a little bit about Goorin Brothers' foundational elements and how your strategies have evolved over in the last 100 years?
Sure, I can begin. So yes, as you said, Goorin Brothers is 127 years old. It began on a horse cart in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Throughout the years since I've been working at Goorin Brothers, I've kind of watched a company go from, prior to 2006, we were all wholesale and private label. 2006, we began our retail channel. The first shop opened up in North Beach, San Francisco, California. And it was very much like a dapper, kind of like prohibition-y 1930s feel, fedoras, flat caps. If you walked into any store, it was like walking into an antique archive, old computer like pieces, just phonographs and all sorts of really fun things to look at. In the last, I would say really during the pandemic, I've really watched us evolve as a company with the times of the pandemic. And we've really pivoted to what really the public was looking for, which is now the farm has sort of begun this explosion. So these are your Animal Farm caps with the patches. We've had these since the 90s, but really in the pandemic years, we really watched it blow up. And our stores are changing. Everything's really altering. We had 32 stores. Now we have 11 stores currently. We've really begun to make our mark in the digital platform. And so with that, we've really evolved all of our digital, our social, our e-commerce, everything that's gone along with it. We've really seen quite a change in the last 2 years. I'm sure Ryan can add to that change.
Yeah, the only thing I would add, and great job, Nikki, is just as a business as a whole, we're definitely transforming, and the pandemic played a key aspect towards strategically how we evolve from being primarily retail at that point towards a digital mindset lens, and how we're going to grow the business, not just from a commerce perspective, but holistically how we market to our customers to drive sales across all of our different channels. And using tools to do that. So that's a lot of where I came in right at the beginning of that pandemic to help, start to shape that for the company, and with a lot of other additional people. It's helped to evolve even our store strategy and how the experiences exist there, and our retail chains, our international growth. and what have you. So, it's definitely a digital first mindset at this point.
I love it. Thank you so much, Nikki, for painting quite a picture for the history of Goorin Brothers, and for Ryan for expanding a bit more on your focus on the digital experiences for the brand. Let's move over to Reese. So Reese, can you tell us a bit about what Nosto does and how it helps e-commerce brands like Goorin Brothers reach their KPIs in the performance marketing channel?
Yeah, so of course, Nasto is really a full encompassing personalization suite for e-commerce brands. And basically what we do is we want to make sure that everything is relevant in terms of what the visitor is seeing, no matter where they are in the sales funnel, whether they're a first-time visitor or a returning visitor or a returning customer. We want to make sure everything that they're seeing is relevant to them based on either data they have or visitors like them. So whether that's through product recommendations or dynamically updating content on site so it's more relevant to what they're saying, what they are seeing based on, farm or those more parlor style hats. Either way, we want to make sure that sorry, I saw Reese is from Nasto, sorry, I saw that in the comments. And so we just want to make sure that everything is relevant, no matter what segment they're in or what part of the sales funnel they're in, just making sure that the products or the content that they're seeing on site is relevant to what they are looking for.
Thank you so much, Reese, and for giving us an overview of the services that Nosto offers. I'm sure a lot of our brands in the audience today can make good use of the services that Nosto offers. Speaking of the audience, we want to understand a bit about who you are, as I'm sure you've joined us to learn about the best practices that we can learn from Goorin Brothers today. So we want to learn more about your e-commerce brand with a quick poll. We just wanted to understand. Let's pull up the poll. Okay, so the poll that we wanted to ask our audience, what are you most looking forward to learning or getting from this webinar? Is it learning how to personalize the customer experience, hearing how an e-commerce company built a robust affiliate marketing strategy, finding out how to nurture relationships with brand advocates, or winning an awesome gift certificate to win a cool new hat or gear from Goorin Brothers? Let's give everyone a few seconds to complete the poll as we see them keep shifting. Quite exciting. Great. Thank you everyone for participating in our poll. It looks like our top answer is hearing how an e-commerce brand built a robust affiliate marketing strategy. Good news for everyone. We'll definitely be focusing on that. And up next is very relevant to Nosto, is learning how to personalize the customer experience. Okay, we'll definitely cater our conversation towards everyone's need to learn about building a robust affiliate marketing program for their brand. So back to the Goorin Brothers team. Let's fast forward to the Goorin Brothers brand today. So you're a thriving D2C e-commerce brand with a significant online presence, reaching audiences from TikTok to your brick and mortar stores. But to get to where you are today, there's some key partnerships involved in that success, as evidenced by tech services, Nosto, and being on the Refersion platform. What were some of the catalysts or challenges that prompted the Goorin Brothers team to seek out integrations like Refersion and Nosto? And we know a lot of folks on the line are keen to learn more about finding an influencer platform that fits your needs. Nikki or Ryan, would you like to start us off with that question?
Sure, I'll jump in. Amongst the many other things we were trying to solve for in terms of really accelerating our digital channels, was recognizing what an amazing job Nikki had done in building out a network of influencers and partners that were essentially promoting our brand, as being fans and really fanatics of our brand for nothing more than a product. And how do we understand what is actually happening when they're out there promoting our product? How do we manage these influencers more effectively? And so an opportunity to not just be able to manage it, but extend it further to both track and realize revenue opportunities for these people that can earn money for what they're doing for free, essentially. And that's kind of where it all started, and looked at Refersion as a platform that can easily import and start us off with that network and put it to work, which quickly started to realize there were a number of different publishers and people on your network as well that were excited about our brand and starting to promote it as well. So initially it was kind of a focus on the influencer, but realized rather rapidly that there's a real opportunity here for us to expand on that, to nurture it, and to become a significant driver of people proliferating our brand across the web. And that's kind of where we started. And I'll let Nikki kind of take over where, you know, we started to evolve from there.
Sure. I think, you know, the main objective when I first started was to, you know, start to do the work of how to include our brand ambassadors, influencers, just like Ryan said, into a way for them to make, you know, referral fees or commissions. So it really was a lot of, you know, effort to begin with to reach out to these people who had already kind of reached out to us and add them into the program. And then along with other programs such as like Upfluence, which is an influencer platform, we were able to work with Upfluence, who's also integrated with Refersion, to, you know, when we're doing campaigns or programs, we can literally just link them right into our brand ambassador affiliate program from Upfluence. So all those things are working together in tandem to keep building what we've already began. So that's like really the only extra thing I wanted to add was that Upfluence component, just another program that integrates with Refersion that helps continue to build on what we already have.
I love to hear it. Thank you for sharing that focus with us. And then based on, so I've been hearing a lot about influencers and ambassadors, right? So based on the Goorin brothers' desire to expand your brand awareness through the fans and followers specifically, as well as improving on the personalization outreach aspects of the shopping experience, how did Refersion and most specifically Nosto, how did their technology solve for the gaps that the Goorin brothers team wanted to fill specifically?
Sure. So, I mean, while they're not mutually exclusive of one another, you know, there's one part of the journey that starts with our outreach and bringing new customers, new awareness to our brand and driving traffic, in which we're using Refersion to really do that. And before I touch on the Nosto piece is understanding, you know, how we were nurturing those group of affiliates through the Refersion program, through communications, through assets, by gamification and other ways to really motivate people to continue and build a profile of promoting our brand and drive higher sales, offering rewards, things of that nature, as well as making sure they have the latest and greatest. So they were always serving up something fresh. So when they come to the website, we're leveraging Nosto's capabilities to personalize the experience once they land on our website, that they're also getting what's fresh, relevant, trending with the behavioral prowess of our customer, whether it's them personally and their behavior, or it is the collective group of people, and whether that might be on a specific product page or category page, we're able to give people an experience that matches the motivation from the promotional elements that we're leveraging through the publisher network and influencers on Refersion.
Excellent. Thank you, Ryan. On to Reese. It sounds like for the Goorin Brothers team, it's definitely a clear and strong partnership between Goorin Brothers and Nosto. Can you share a bit about what you saw in terms of how the metrics change, how the performance changed before Goorin Brothers partnered with Nosto and after? We'd love to hear about what you saw in terms of before partnership and after partnership.
Yeah, of course. And that comes into play as well. We're coming on to a landing page. A lot of times customers will come to a landing page and it'll typically be a PDP from an influencer, an ad or something like that. And we were seeing that a lot of the bounces that were coming from the site were coming from PDPs. So what we did to kind of mitigate that bounce rate on the PDPs is we tried testing in external sources. So anyone coming from ads or from Instagram or Facebook, those people would then be served a smaller recommendation above the fold of those PDPs. And we were able to A/B test that through Nosto's A/B testing functionality. And we were able to see that bounce rate went down, conversion rate went up, because if someone does land on a PDP and it's not exactly what they thought they clicked on, they're typically going to bounce. But if they have a nice smaller image, smaller product recommendation image above the actual product, they can then see that there are many other options that they can then click on, and instead of bouncing, go to those PDPs and then continue around the site there. So keep them on the site longer, which of course will then increase their conversion.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Reese. We actually gathered like a few metric slide for the performance that we've actually seen post partnership. So if we could pull up that slide. For the Goorin Brothers team, Ryan and Nikki, and if you could just walk through what you've seen from your partnerships with Refersion and Nosto since building that relationship with these technology partners.
Sure. So this particular slide is showing our total revenue since we started the program. We began mid-February in 2021, and we have made $1,476,960, all from our affiliate network with an 8% conversion rate, and we paid out $99,713 in commission. I'm not sure what percentage that's, probably around maybe like 7% or so, somewhere around there, which is a great ROI. And we have one specific affiliate that is basically like a superhero, and she's been able to, on her own, with her own sources of publishing, email marketing, 457,000 plus came from just her particular affiliate program. So yeah, it's been, for the first year, I mean, surprisingly remarkable. And because of the success, we really put a lot of energy in how to scale the program, make it bigger, keep adding more and more people, adding the right publishers into the network. I can explain that maybe in a different question, of like the difference between brand ambassadors versus publishers and VIP publishers, and basic affiliate marketers that do this for their own full-time purpose.
I would just add, it didn't happen overnight. This is the first few months, just starting to trickle up, but it really started to compound itself as the network grew, as our efforts to nurture, engage, and expand with the audience continued to grow. So not only did our business grow, obviously it did of the network, and even this top affiliate where they came from, and there's a group of them that really do excel, month after month after month, increasingly growing their sales and obviously attributable revenue. So just in the first 4 months of this year is roughly about a little over 35% of that has happened just this month. So that's how you can see the kind of ongoing efforts of how this program can kind of scale as you go, as long as you continue to nurture, keep people engaged, and keep building on top of the success.
Thank you so much for clarifying that for both Ryan and Nikki. And I'd love to hear your thoughts later on, Nikki, about the VIP publishers and publishers specifically. But one thing I did want to reiterate and stress on what both these gentlemen have shared: it is not an overnight success. It's continued communication and building of relationships with your partners, whether they be affiliates or technology partners like Nosto. You can see the success in your performance marketing channel if you keep testing and if you continue to build the relationships with these partners. If it's a good, open, honest relationship wherein you trust your account manager and you trust the strategies, you can see results similar to what Goorin Brothers has driven. Pivoting over to Reese, of course, these are the numbers that the Goorin Brothers team have seen. Can you tell us a bit more about what you have seen on the Nosto side since this partnership began?
Yeah, of course. And so not only does Nosto have, the recommendations and the content and the A/B testing and everything that it includes, it also has a very robust analytics tab that you can go into, and you can see how each of the recommendations overall are performing. And one piece of that analytics tab that's very powerful is what we call our cohort report. And what this report does is you have to visit 2 or more pages of the screen. So you make sure that we don't include bounce rates in this and kind of skews the metrics one way or the other. But what this report will do is it'll tell you conversion rate, average order value, average visit value, for visitors who have clicked on Nosto or for visitors who have not clicked on Nosto. So the conversion rate for visitors who have clicked on Nosto was 300% higher than for visitors who didn't. And that just shows, as I mentioned earlier, that we just want to make sure that products and content is everything that we're showing is very relevant to the visitor. And I think this report does a really good job of displaying that aspect of, if they click on something Nosto, we gather more data, we present more products to them that they eventually convert on.
Thank you.
And then on the one under that, where we actually have different types of filtering within our recommendations. So we had a mini cart recommendation that, wasn't performing the way we wanted it to. So we changed up the filtering on it to make it a little bit more advanced and use dynamic filtering where it says, if this product, then recommend that. So if someone puts in one of those farm hats, we then recommend a farm t-shirt or a farm sweater or a backpack, something more related to the farm. We don't recommend another hat or something along those lines. And what we saw is that really gave a significant uplift in conversion rate. And within the last 30 days, it did have a conversion rate of 28% plus. So just showing that using A/B testing, using the different types of filtering within Nosto, you can really get those products and iron them out so that people are converting on them.
I love it. I love to hear it, Reese. Thank you so much. It sounds like the key to everything that you've shared is just personalization and just being smart about how you target the next consumer, right? Because I feel like in today's day and age, consumers are like kind of expecting that already. So if you like anticipate those moves, you're more than likely to push them to a conversion. So thank you for sharing your stories for both teams. Switching over to the audience, we want to take a moment to understand where you spend your marketing channel dollars. So if we could pull up our second poll, we just wanted to get an understanding from our audience. Which of these performance marketing channels do you currently invest in? There's paid media on there, social media, SEO, affiliate marketing, influencer, and ambassador, and email. We just wanted to see like the top answers from the audience members that we have. So, looks like our top answer is social media. That's excellent. And then the next one is paid media. Third and fourth are affiliate marketing and influencer marketing, respectively. For the gentlemen in our panels, is this surprising to you? Is this what you're seeing in spend? Is this part of your strategy? What are you guys thinking?
I mean, I'm surprised how even diverse it is, and to see email as high as it is, to be honest. But I think you can't just focus on one particular thing. There are areas you're definitely going to go bigger on, but I think it's a mix, and there's probably a diverse mix of different types of business, whether B2C, B2B, that are going to have different strategies and tactics and channels that they're using to focus their marketing efforts. So it's not surprising to see it be diverse because customers are touching so many different aspects along the journey.
Excellent. Any other thoughts on that, Ryan and Reese, before we move on to the next question?
Yeah, I thought, like Ryan said, I thought email was very interesting. Something I hadn't touched on was Nosto also integrates with Goorin by adding product recommendations in different emails through email widgets.
Mm-hmm.
So something there that I wasn't expecting email to be as high, but something that we do also integrate with Goorin as well, is by adding those product recommendations into various email campaigns that they've been sending out.
Glad to hear it. Well, something to take back to the Nosto internal team, right, Reese?
Exactly.
So back to the Goorin Brothers team. It's no secret that Goorin Brothers is constantly looking to the future for their next opportunity. What can you share with our audience, and what are the biggest areas of growth that your team is looking to tackle this year? Nikki, Ryan?
Sure. I can jump in. I mean, some of the things that we've got going on are tied towards more personalization and segmentation as we look to expand with Nosto in different areas of content personalization and go beyond the merchandising stories as just one example. But we're finding, targeting many other ways, whether it's through our email, SMS, other programs to start to really tailor messaging and segment customer communications. It kind of goes without saying, but it's a long tail initiative. Furthermore, and Nikki can speak to it well, is building on this affiliate, the influencer network and brand ambassador is a major initiative for us, along with expanding globally. So those are some of the big things we're really focused on as we, and when I mean expand globally, is more from a direct to consumer perspective. We already are in don't even know how many countries right now, but those are areas where we're trying to take these tactics, these strategies, and deploy them into new markets as well.
Just to add on to what Ryan already said, in terms of specifically reversion and our program, which we named the Loopers, that was initially how we started to get people into the program. Was I sent out a letter to essentially like brand ambassadors and influencers, fans of the brand, to get them started. And as we progress in the program, realizations of, the publishers are really like, it's, even though we have probably way more brand ambassadors, the breakdown is pretty apparent. The publishers are making more revenue for the brand than, the influencers or brand ambassadors. So there's like kind of those two buckets. And so what my goal as of this quarter and really towards the whole rest of the year is to expand, those relationships with new publishers. Reversion just launched a publisher discovery tool that I've been tapping into, and it has basically like thousands and thousands of publishers. What I'm doing is researching and narrowing down, even with the help of the customer support team on Reversion, the right publishers to reach out to. And so I'm just starting to build and try and get those relationships going. So again, we can just continue to scale the program, get more people to know and have brand awareness, and continue the success that we've already started, but fourfold.
I love it, Nikki and Ryan. Thank you so much for your methodical sharing of basically how you're planning on getting to where you want to go, and for the goals that you want to tackle. I think that's helpful to give actionable insights to all of our audience members to see how they can replicate the success that the brand has seen. So with these areas of growth in mind, tackling publishers, personalization, tailored messaging, how will Reversion and Nosto's services empower the Goorin Brothers brand to achieve these goals?
Sure. So, I mean, essentially, Reversion, on the one hand, as we've kind of talked about quite a bit, enables us to activate our audience and Reversion's audience at the same time. It also integrates with our communications platform, with our Shopify, our influencer network. So we have visibility towards all the activities well, not all the activities, but a lot of the activities that the Reversion is able to provide within the network into our tech stack as a whole. And so for that, it allows us to have clear visibility in terms of the growth, the publishers and affiliates who are in there, and how we're scaling across a variety of different metrics beyond just the sales component, which is key in helping us identify other areas of opportunity. While on the Nosto side, it takes the guessing game out of how we're servicing our customers towards the types of merchandising strategies, product for trying to treat everybody individually from a human perspective, and using some of the technology to automate a lot of that process, and to continuously optimize the experience based on hard data that comes in. It's not all those stats that Reese was talking about didn't happen overnight either. It's been a lot of tinkering and adding and subtracting, optimizing along the way in order for us to get there. And that's the great part about what Nosto will bring to the table, is that they'll bring their expertise and support you to keep making those moves to optimize the program and increase the contributable revenue that comes from it.
And just one thing to add, I think, to that on like the Reversion side and the influencer side is like, it's pretty apparent as social media manager to watch like the spreading of the farm happen due to everybody posting on social media. They get their hats, they love them, they put them up there. And these are, micro influencers, nano influencers, sometimes much bigger influencers. But I really felt like there was a need to have somewhere to put all that. And so once I was able to establish that Reversion existed, it was the perfect opportunity to bring all those people that are already spreading the brand to their fans and followers, who spread to their fans and followers, and so on and so forth. It gave a landing place for all those people to, maybe promote because they love the brand, but also make a few bucks, buy more because they have some cash in their pocket, spread the word, and feel like they're part of the culture now, part of the family. So I think it really was a great way to include all of those people that maybe you wouldn't know how to include in your brand.
I love it. And I know for the Goorin Brothers, because of the dynamic growth, I would imagine with the growth of the brand, you're also continuously adding new products. And with that in place, there's going to be more of a need for personalization, more categorization pages, and more dynamic content targeting, which of course the Nosto's technology will be able to come in to play to help with that. Did you have anything to add to that, Reese or Ryan?
No, Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it definitely becomes more critical as, we strategically and how we're selling our products, what we're creating, and the lifespan of those products, the marketing life cycle, is meant to create that strong demand where we're selling through products, and also those that are in our core line, that we know drive people into the brand, are valuable towards driving, continued growth and revenue. Leveraging the Nosto platform for those personalization is key for the repeat shoppers as well, to see what's new, what's fresh, in the vein of what they're looking for, as we've been able to move the needle quite a bit in terms of that repeat shopping revenue, getting almost 50% of our customers in this first quarter to be repeat shoppers. And that's a pretty dramatic shift from where we are, because it's not just about a one-time sale with us. It really is about the lifetime value that we're trying to create. And with the Nosto platform, we're able to serve up those personalized views of obvious people who are coming back over and over again. So the data that's associated with their personal journey becomes better and better.
Excellent. Anything to add to that, Reese?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was just going to add on to like the categories, the category pages and merchandising. A lot of times that can be manual. And earlier this year, we opened up the feature for category merchandising for Goorin. So now we can sort all of the different category products based on different metrics, based on category tags or anything that is attached to those products. So it takes out all of the manual work with merchandising those products in categories and allows you to serve a different sort for someone coming from an email than someone else, so that it's more relevant to what the email campaign is that they receive. And then looking future set, doing some type of shoppable Instagram for all of those affiliate partners that Nikki was touching on. You could actually have all of them be displayed somewhere on the homepage on a PDP, where they'll have actually those shop spots where you can go directly to a PDP straight from that UGC or the affiliate or the affiliates that are coming in and posting on socials.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing the behind the scenes secrets for all of this testing and partnership. And for our audience, I just wanted to remind you all, thank you all for being so engaged. I see several audience members raising their hand, wanting to join the conversation. We want to make sure we capture everyone's questions and address them accordingly so we can record them. Please be sure to input your questions in the Q&A section at the bottom of your Zoom link, and we will get to as many questions as we can at the end of this session. Thank you. But again, we're so happy. See, everyone's so excited and want to engage with all of our expert speakers on our webinar today. Before we move forward to the live Q&A portion, of course, from it sounds like there's clear relationship experiences here. I would want to get each of your guys' thoughts on what are the final thoughts or reminders that you'd like to impart in terms of words of wisdom, best practices that you'd like to share with our audience members today, given the poll answers that they've talked about, where they want to focus their performance marketing channel budget spend, and what they wanted to learn of like growing their e-commerce brand from this webinar. Let's start with Nikki.
Sure, and excuse the traffic in the background. I think for me, the most important thing is communication. I spend a lot of time with back and forth between the brand ambassadors, publishers. They have a lot of questions, concerns. I answer them as quickly as I possibly can. I send out a newsletter every single week that announces our new product drops, promotions that are going on, contests that I'm having, incentives. So really trying to engage each week, dropping creatives into the Refersion platform so they can use them. All these things, I really concentrate on this program quite a bit throughout the week, every week. So it's really intense communication, being there for your people. Also, like, again, I wanted to shout out the customer support team for Refersion. I have a lot of questions. I'm trying to grow the program more. They've been integral to the growth of and success of our program. They're always there when I need them. This is a shameless plug because I really have had a great experience with all of that team. Anything I need, they're there for me, and very much in a timely manner. And that also is important. You want to have these great relationships and continue to build. So big communication. That's what I think is key to continuing the success of your program.
That's excellent to hear, Nikki. I'm sure our customer success management team's ears are burning with all these wonderful words. Anything for you, Ryan, to share with our to impart with our audience today?
Sure. I mean, a lot what Nikki said is absolutely true. The nurturing aspect of you're not going to come out of the gate day one and just build an army of affiliate networkers and influencers. You're not going to come out of the gate with all your product recommendations, learning at the speed of light. So it's really important that one, you set the right longer term strategies as well as the short term tactics that you want to employ, and trust your partners in providing their expertise along the way. So that you can make the most use of their platform. As oftentimes with technology, you come with one mindset and you don't take advantage of the full suite of capabilities, or you set it and forget it, and then you're surprised if it's not working. But the reality is anything that you're going to really put a focus that sees revenue opportunities, whether they're incremental or hockey stick, require that continuous re-strategizing, problem solving, and optimization to really make it a predictable stream of revenue as well as scalability.
I love it. Thank you so much, Ryan. Think long term, think short term, and don't forget to test, test, test. I think that's always a valuable lesson, especially in this ecosystem that we thrive in e-commerce. Last but not the least, any wise words for our audience today, Reese?
Yeah, and I think one thing that made us successful was when our partnership started, we would start with weekly meetings and see kind of lay out where we wanted to go, all the different ideas that I had based on how their site was laid out. And then once we started getting those rolled out, we moved to those bi-weekly meetings, and that gave me a lot of time to take a lot of the analytics and the checking off of Ryan's team. And then I could say, okay, conversion has fallen over the last 30 days from this recommendation. Should we test it based on a personalized strategy or a browsing history or any of the other algorithms that Nosto can provide? So just keeping up to date on the actual data, and like you said, and I'm sure everyone's sick of hearing it by now, but testing and then just once we figure out whether it's good or bad, at least you now know that there's an actual solution and an actual answer. So maybe we start a new test, or we just let that winner continue running and see how it performs again in the next 30 days. But yeah, just continuing to build that trust with those continued meetings, whether they're weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever they may be.
Thank you, Reese. And everyone should be reminded that testing is key part of finding that crucial sweet spot of success, especially between partnerships in the technology sphere. But I also wanted to thank you for your transparency and handling. Sometimes you have to talk about results that are not favorable, but then if you have a partner that's willing to talk it out, come up with a plan, as Ryan said, long term, short term, then you work together, and then your partnership can grow even further, and you have even more data to review and stack up against for future strategic testing purposes. So thank you for all your wise words, gentlemen. The questions have been coming in, which is very exciting. So thank you for everyone who've shared their question. The first question is, can you walk us through the customer journey for a prospective customer who visits the site as a result of clicking on a reversion link from an ambassador or influencer for the first time, with specifics from the perspective of a new customer? Anyone want to take that?
Well, I'd love to say there's a singular journey for that, what that happens, but keep in mind we have people who are promoting our brands through email, through social, and when you talk social, you're talking different channels. So, and they may have followers that are more inclined to buy a fedora than they would a farm trucker hat. So really what we're trying to do is through the links, through the content, through the products we're featuring, to keep them at least as consistent with what's happening on the website as possible. So that first customer that's coming there had an expectation of something that drew them to our site from the promotion that was out there. And when they get to our site, is seeing a match motivation of that product or that experience, that category page of something that they were drawn to, or a piece of content, if you will. So that the first step in the process is, hey, we got you in the door and we met your expectations of what you can see, and then ideally we're taking customers down the path of more exploration. We don't expect it to always be a direct response conversion for a first-time customer, but we want them to go in and explore and find the things that are most relevant beyond what drew them in the first place.
And just to add one more detail to that, before they get in the door, there's basically two ways a person can activate an affiliate's way in. The first is they might have a link on in their bio that takes them directly to the website, or they may have a code, like a coupon code or something that the person would use at checkout. If a customer goes through that link and they're searching, they don't find anything they like in that moment, they have a 30-day window. That's based on our own terms and conditions. You can adjust that per brand, but they have 30 days. They can go back to the web, and within that 30-day span, that particular affiliate will get credit for the sale. Anything beyond that window will not be a qualified sale. So they have to kind of do it. They don't have to go back through that link, that same link, but it has to be within the 30-day window. And again, the brand can choose what window they have to do that in.
Yeah, we'll qualify that too. It's rare that we do have a promotion. We're not using promotions to drive traffic. We're not a promotional brand. So, even, what we're doing here is really around the products and the merchandising and the stories that we position out there. And on the rare events that we do have promotional periods, we'll extend that obviously to the affiliate program.
Excellent. Thank you for answering in a very thorough manner that question on UX for that first click, and hopefully the person who asked that question got their answer about like the customer journey from a prospective customer. Next question is directed to Nikki. Can you talk more about the difference between publishers that are regular versus the VIP ones, and give a couple of examples of the two types? Me managing publishers on this side would love to hear your answer, Nikki. That way I want to understand if like we have the same definitions of a regular publisher versus a VIP publisher.
Sure. So from my understanding, basically, Refersion has had specific VIP publishers. One off the top of my head is Yield Kit GmbH, something like that. GmbH. Another maybe there. I think we have about at least 10 VIP publishers that are in our program. All different kinds of people that are coming to the marketplace of Refersion, and the marketplace essentially is a field of publishers that can join your particular brand if they like your program. So we advertise on the marketplace. It comes with the program. It's not something we pay extra for. And so these VIP publishers can look at what our offering is and decide to work with us or not. Then there are publishers in this discovery tool, which is something sort of outside of Refersion as far as my understanding goes. And there are magazines and other types of like Pulse magazine, like Hype Beast, BuzzFeed, all sorts of publishers that will back brands and advertise specific product and join their programs for also types of commission. Maybe they have a specific meeting and set up their terms and conditions, and they become part of that program. So I believe that's the distinction between the two. Am I correct, Regina?
It's okay.
I think it's the network size as well.
It's definitely the size, and it's the conversions and the trust component that we have with our publishers. But I'm very happy for your mention for Yield Kit, Nikki. But on the I think you were mentioning the publisher discovery tool as a separate discovery tool that we offer. We're doing it for a select cohort at the moment, so it's not available for everybody. But it's we're coming up with ways, because we understand that a lot of the brands on the line are also looking for ways to discover additional types of publishers that would make sense for their brand. As Ryan had mentioned earlier, every brand is unique, every partnership is unique, and you need to find the ones that fit for your brand, for your affiliate and ambassador needs. But one thing I would want to stress for VIP is definitely on the trust level, the size, and the conversions that we have seen. And in terms of the partnership and relationship that we have with them, in terms of doing partnerships on the merchant side, that's whom we would qualify as a VIP publisher on the Refersion side. Excellent. And then this is an interesting one, especially with Ryan mentioning that you are not a promotional brand and you don't rely on coupons and discounts and all that good stuff. An audience member asked, our profit margin is very small. Offering a commission and a discount code affects our profit. What do we do? Not pay commissions on orders that use discount codes? We don't want to upset our affiliates. Care to weigh in on that for other ways to mitigate the thin margins that some brands may have in terms of offering a discount for their products?
Sure.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, there's a number of different strategies you can employ. We are also not, I mean, we're a unique brand in that we're not paying out a commission of 10, 15% that a lot of brands do. We keep it very small and we want people to, I guess, really earn it. But it comes down to what a lot of what Nikki does to promote and keep people engaged and offer them motivation to spread across their different networks. Because the more eyeballs you get, the more opportunity you do for conversion. Not everybody is drawn by a sale. If your product is quality and your messaging, your creative are in line with customers, what they're looking for, they're going to pay full price. And you don't need to discount everything. But again, it comes down to the category you're in. Some areas are very competitive, and you may want to just consider lowering your commissions, to offset some of that. But because the commission only comes if you make a sale, it's very advantageous to reward the people who are promoting your brand more so than the end consumer in this instance, to keep your margins as big as possible.
And just the other idea I would have is, we didn't always, there are time periods basically that we'll offer a discount code. They're not very large. They've actually never been more than 10%. Mainly they could be $5 off. But you have limitations, like maybe you have it from July through, September, a slower time period, or it's during a specific campaign that you're offering this discount code, and then you stop, and then it goes back to, you need to go through the link. You don't always have to have a code, but when I first started the program, we pretty much never had a code, and we still had a lot of what you see, in our numbers occur sans code. We offered free shipping, that was it. And we still had great attention to this program, and the affiliates were more than happy to promote, and people directed right through their link to our website, and that's how they earned commission. So you don't.
I would add just quickly, just GWPs or offering that discount off a multiple product purchase, because oftentimes that will lessen the load by increasing the cart value.
Excellent. And just to piggyback off of what Nikki said on free shipping can be quite a very relevant promotion, especially on a key time periods like you mentioned. You just have to be strategic about when you input these promotions, and they don't always have to have a percent or dollar off value. And also echoing back to me and Reese's favorite word, don't forget to test. Everyone should just find that sweet spot of what's the proper commission offer that makes sense for you to pay your affiliates, that would make sense for your partners and for your brand, so that you're not cutting into razor thin margins. These are great questions, everybody. Keep them coming. Make sure you put all your questions in the Q&A section, especially while we have our expert panel here addressing all your questions live in this webinar. So one more question. I think this is directed for Nikki because of his mention specifically about publishers. You mentioned publishers are generating more revenue for the brand compared to brand ambassadors. How does your brand define publishers versus brand ambassadors, as it is different from all brands? Are your ambassadors influencers who are not affiliates and only receive payment or gifting as opposed to a commission?
Okay, I think that was a few different questions in one. Let's see if
let's tackle.
Okay.
Let's tackle the brand ambassadors question, and then how do you pay them out?
Kind of like a first of all, square to a rectangle. Like, not all influencers essentially are not all influencers are affiliates. So what a minute. I had there was a good reference there, but it's failing. So let me start again. So essentially, sometimes we have influencers that are paid, but they don't join the reversion program. Okay. But essentially those that are joined in the reversion program are basically considered brand ambassadors. So influencers and brand ambassadors are kind of two different words. Brand ambassadors are people that are kind of promoting for the brand. Influencers can be people that we pay out just for a specific campaign. A publisher can be anyone. There are like 5 different categories of publishers. There are bloggers. There are what we call hustlers. They're like specific one-man show that have like an email list or something like that, and they really work hard. There are your magazine type publishers. And I think there are a few other, like Reversion went through all the list of different types of publishers for me. And then, so we have a 2-tiered program. We have our publishers and they get a specific percentage of commission. It's actually lower than what we give to our brand ambassadors and influencers. Those people are all people that come to me by DMs. They're people that are fans of the brand. They are finding on our landing page at the bottom, the brand ambassador tab to sign up to the program. We don't have a dedicated landing page yet, but that's something we'll probably be working towards. So there are different multiple ways to sign up to be a part of the affiliate program. And normally I like to give the option to people that are on Instagram that don't necessarily have a ton of followers. Like that's where we get caught up. Like they want to work with the brand, but they don't have enough influencers for me to like make them part of a paid campaign of influencers. But they love the brand. They have some people that are following them. What can we do? Well, great, join us. Here's Reversion. Here's the Looper program. You get a discount, personal discount once a month for yourself. You get incentives. You feel like you're part of the community. So in answer to I hope this is answering your question. We have your brand ambassadors, your influencers on one tier, and then you have your publishers on the other tier. So there's 2 separate links to join, and they each have different qualifications, and they each have different ways of earning more money. So I hope that.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, the publishers are typically that we find in Reversion are driving more revenue. It's because they're experts in it. They know how to reach those customers versus influencers are out there promoting themselves, their own brand, and we're a side project that allows them to make additional money. But that's why we also need to scale. We don't care whether you have 1,000 people or you've got 500,000. It is about the mass, not just for the sales aspect, but they're all these people that we add in there are promoting our brand all the time. So the more people we get into that, whether they're paid or not, the better off, the more our brand grows holistically.
I think that's helpful, especially on that advice on casting a wider net, because influencers, whether they have 1,000 followers versus like a VIP publisher who can like who has like traffic in the tens of thousands on a monthly basis, they both just have different value props, especially for a brand with such a specific and special origin story as Goorin Brothers. You'd want to tackle both. So that's very helpful. I think, Nikki, you hit the nail on the head on how you defined it. To tackle the second part of that question, are your ambassadors influencers who are not affiliates and only receive payment or gifting as opposed to commission? I think it's a question on like how to reward them in essence for being like valuable partners.
We have a program that we kind of offshot from Reversion. It's called the Foals. And that is a gifting program that leads you into Reversion. So for the most part, if you want to be part of that program, you will be gifted, but not everyone that joins the Loopers is gifted product. In fact, no one is. So,
well, that's not true, because we do have a monthly giveaway. So the top sellers or top traffic drivers do get an opportunity to win something every single month. As well as we offer discounts to them specifically for our Reversion network every single month for a different product or hat. So they personally can become fans of the brand. So they have an opportunity to get something out of it that nobody else can get.
Well, yeah, they have perks, but the Foals is like more of a gifting campaign. So there's definitely perks with the affiliates, but the Foals is like you enter as a gifted person, and you from Upfluence you get gifted, and then there's a link to sign up for Reversion, and then you can add on to that with your commission.
Excellent. I'm looking at the time, guys. Unfortunately, we only have time for one more question, but it's a really good one. So, for this is for all the gentlemen on our panel. What is your advice for recruiting influencers who are not knowledgeable on affiliate marketing as affiliates? They usually receive payment via gifting.
Sure. I mean, a couple things. One, if they are gifting and they're promoting, they already know what to do. So they're promoting on their social media. They're just adding a special link instead of tagging somebody. So having a landing page, like Nikki suggested earlier, having some materials on how to do things, like in the weekly newsletter that goes out to them, we're always giving them tips and tricks as well as part of that, and best ways to promote it, or step-by-step little in the process, so that we make it as easy as possible for people who are potentially new to it. But Refersion really is a platform that's so easy to use, that it's more about trying to find new people, and your customers are a great place to start. They're already fans of the brand. They're probably already promoting you, whether they think they are or not. And every time they put on, use your product or show it in a post or whatever it is. So, starting with people you're already familiar and are fans of the brand can be a great place to just reach out. You have an email list, you can communicate, you can provide those tips and tricks without, starting from scratch.
That's excellent, Brian. Any last final advice or words from you, Reese?
No, I was just going to say, even with all of that as well, you can take that, add it into Nasto, and then get that onto your site as well. So not only are they, having it on their Instagrams, it's also going to be on site, and that could promote people to become part of any type of plan that you guys have, because they can see, oh, maybe if I post something, I'll get on site, and then maybe they get reached out to become part of the program within Goorin. So there could be another aspect there that we could tap into.
I love it. Just continuing on that messaging of like continued relationship building and personalization and just ongoing communication. I love it. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. I'm sure, as we can see from all the questions and the engagement that we got, everybody was engaged in our webinar, and I'm sure everyone learned a lot from everything that you've shared, from your experiences from this partnership, from what you've learned along the way, and your transparency and the journey, how it wasn't an overnight success. So thank you to our panels and panelists, and so thank you so much for our audience who livened up our live Q&A with these burning questions for our panel. Thank you again for all of our panelists. We really appreciate your time and expertise today. Thank you for our audience, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your week. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate your time.